Hi folks, Jenny Rolls here, and I am responding to a request for how to make pigeon pose more comfy, or I think it was worded less intense. So I'm down low here so that you can see what I'm chatting about. And if you are watching this where you can put the phone down, keep me on, put the phone down and try it with me, awesome. If you're watching this and just planning on trying it later, cool beans. We're going to start in tabletop position. This is where it will all begin from. So let's see if you can see me. I'll shuffle around, make sure you can. And here in tabletop positions, there are a couple of ways you can get into pigeon pose, the classic variation of. Some folks like to come in from this tabletop position. Other folks like a downward dog entrance, but there's no right or wrong in both ways. We're going to bring our knee toward our right wrist. So right knee toward right wrist. And right away, as soon as that right knee lands next to my right wrist, my left leg starts to eke its way out long behind. So what is the whole point of pigeon pose? If you've been in my studio classes, you know that I go on and on and on about. The point is to hopefully find a stretch for the glutes, the hip, or the thigh. And I say or because it's going to depend on how you've been moving your body in your daily life, which dictates where you're going to be tight, which dictates where you're going to feel the stretch. But that's the goal, is to find a stretch, whether it's in the glutes, the hip, or the thigh. Maybe it's all those locations. But when we land here with this right knee near the right wrist, we start to find a way to get quote unquote comfy here around this stretch. So to make this less intense, we can do a couple of things. I want you to lose the idea of having the legs in the perfect position or in a position that you saw in a magazine. I don't know if you can see right now, but my heel right here, it's underneath me. My heel is near my pubic bone. That's where my heel lands. Some folks can get into this position and their heel is further away, more up front. And that's just going to depend on how you bend and move, how your joints move, how your muscles move, all of that good stuff. So I want you to focus less on where the heck your heel has landed and more on, can I start to feel a bit of a stretch here? So if the answer is I feel a stretch here and it's way too intense for certain parts of your leg or certain parts of your body, then maybe one option is, especially if your booty is up off the floor here, we want to see if we can keep the hips level or parallel to the floor. So we don't want this. We don't want my glute tipping all the way over and lands, and then I'm kind of left hunch laying here. Yes, I still feel a bit of a stretch, but now I'm very uncomfortable in my other leg and in my backside. I'm just not comfortable. You need to be comfortable around the stretch. So I'll bring myself back up. I'll get my booty back up off the earth there. And it's kind of just hanging out, which is fine. I don't mind that when I'm in a yoga class. However, it is nice to play with either a block or a cushion. And if you snuggle that underneath that lifted part of your booty, you can start to relax more into the stretch instead of tensing up around it. So maybe that makes it less intense by offering the cushion or the block underneath the booty, and you can hang out upright. You can come closer to the earth. If you are pregnant, you can bring and baby's taking up space, you can bring, I don't have a bolster within arm's reach here, but you can bring a bolster or cushions, even bed pillows. This is just a meditation cushion. Bring it for the elbows and the forearms to rest on, or even if you find hands on the earth, you're still feeling a little slouched forward, everything's scrunched, heighten it up, create more space for breath, breathing, or if you've got baby on board, cool beans. So that's one way to maybe make it less intense, this block, and figuring out how to land and get comfortable around the stretch. But if that is still the case where you get in here and you're like, nope, still too intense, I don't know, it's not for me maybe, we can still achieve the goal, the stretch, but we just get ourselves in a different position. So for example, we can, let me roll over here, we can come right onto our bottoms, bring our legs out long, and this same right leg, we still bend in the knee, but this time we're stacking the foot, maybe it's your ankle, maybe it's your leg, depending on how you're bending and moving here, onto the left leg. So right foot stacks onto the left leg's long, here it is, right leg stacked. Here's my bend, here's my maybe feeling a bit of a stretch here, glutes, hip, or thigh. If you get here, we have lots of space once again for breath, for breathing. Or if you need a little bit more, like maybe I can feel a bit of a stretch, but maybe I want a bit more, we can bend in this left knee, start to bring this right leg closer to us, use hands behind you, shy away from like slouching here or crunching your heart down toward your belly, and see if you can lift up through that heart center so that you don't lose that space for breathing, for breath. And we breathe here. Maybe you're finding that stretch in the glutes, the hip, the thigh. So you've reached the goal. You're just in a different position. You just got clever about it so that maybe it's less intense. So those are options to play with for your pigeon pose. You can even do this against the wall. I'm not near a wall. Like say the wall is going to be by my feet. You can do the figure 4 stretch here. Pretend that this foot that I'm moving is pushed against a wall, and you can rest here. So that can work for a lot of people. It won't work for a person who is very, very, very pregnant or just like being on their backside, because then it's not comfy, right? Right. So play with it. See what works for you. If none of that makes things less intense, let me know. We'll do another video. Bye.